So that happened. Baseball is played. Baseball was played tonight, and the Boston Red Sox dismantled the Baltimore Orioles. Final score 12-3. The Orioles drop another one. The Yankees, I'm assuming, also finished out their game, so they're a game and a half back in the AL East. This is bad. This is a bad stretch. The offense, once again, can't get anything going. Let's go over their last 5 games. They've scored 1 run, 2 runs, 1 run, no runs, 3 runs. So man, we talk about consistency. We talk about wanting this team to do better. Well, they're consistent. They finally are getting consistent. And unfortunately, the consistency is this team relies too much on stars to just try to win them games. Tonight it was Tony. All 3 RBIs, gets the home run, his 40th. Congratulations to him. One of the guys who actually did something tonight. Gunnar had a decent night, but it's always just one guy who seems to have to try to carry the team each night. Then you go with runners in scoring position. 2 for 11 with runners in scoring position. 2 for 11 with 11 guys left on base. Twice the Orioles left the bases loaded. The one time they got it with 1 out and were unable to do anything, struck out the next 2 batters. This is a tough one. This was one of those losses where, like, before a few days ago, I talked about just throwing it out. You know, I said, take the loss, throw it out. We need to burn this one. Like, some sort of ritual, like this loss needs to be burned, thrown away, discarded, and this was tough. This was just the Orioles had the lead at one point in this game. The Orioles at one point led 1-0, and it honestly felt like I was like, okay, the boys are starting off hot in Boston. After that first inning, Gunnar leads it off with a double. You're sitting there, you're like, okay, let's see if we can get something. Let's see if we can make something happen here. Seti, really nice line drive off the bat, gets caught in center field. Then you have Tony, gets the hit. You're sitting there, you're like, okay, this seems to be like the Orioles could be coming to play today. The Orioles end up getting the bases loaded. And then Jimenez and Cowser strike out. So it seems like we keep talking about consistency, and I'll say it again. It seems like this team is getting pretty consistent, and unfortunately, the consistency is they're not getting it done when they need to. Over the past month and a half, now 2 months, it feels like this team, at any point that there's runners in scoring position, Kevin says it all the time. You almost feel better with these guys batting with nobody on than you do with runners in scoring position, because it feels like they love a good solo home run, but they can't hit with runners in scoring position. And it's like Beetlejuice. If you say his name, he's just going to show up. Speaking of Kevin Oestreicher, welcome in the other half of Kevin and Zachary X, Kevin Oestreicher. Kevin, I talked about it before you just got on. We asked for consistency, and the Orioles are pretty consistently letting us down with runners in scoring position. So at least they're doing something consistent.
Man, what happened? What happened? That escalated very quickly.
Yeah, as I said to open up, I said baseball was played tonight. That's my biggest takeaway. Baseball was played tonight.
No, I had to have a stern talking to with with Birch over there about what's
about his performance. It's not.
So, man, just brutal. This team is not going to win any playoff games playing like this.
No,
especially when you're. I mean, look, Povich wasn't like the best today, but he wasn't the worst.
Yeah,
I mean,
we've seen better from him. We've also seen worse from Povich.
Yeah, I mean, he gave up the 4. But again, like this offense on paper, I guess is talented enough, but we've been saying they're talented enough for the past 3 months and it hasn't really gotten any more consistent. So I just, we could literally, I mean, we say it almost every episode, right? We could just replay an old episode of this and say, oh, well, they didn't hit with runners in scoring position. Oh, they rely on the home run ball. Oh, the pitching staff blew this. Oh, I mean, it's the same conversation. Like we talk about it almost every single time we hop on here.
Yeah. So, and then you get to Craig Kimbrell, 1 inning, 2 hits, 2 earned runs, walk, 3 strikeouts. It feels like we legitimately could just record these episodes beforehand and we just know what's happening.
We should try it one time.
Just see if we nail it.
Man.
This is a rough one. This was just one of those disgusting games. Like I
said, but I mean, they've had a bunch of disgusting games lately.
Unfortunately, it's 4 in a row, 5 in a row of less than 3 runs, 5 straight games scored less than 3 runs. And tonight was actually the most they've scored, 3.
Yeah.
It's a tough time.
I mean, there aren't really any silver linings in this game. Like the one would be Adley.
Yeah.
The one would be Adley.
You can shout out Tony for getting to number 40 for 3 RBIs. Gunnar got on base twice. Good for them. But yeah, besides that,
nothing.
I mean, it's tough. It's brutal right now.
Yeah, man. I just, I mean, it's almost kind of those things where you're sitting here speechless because, I mean, let's kind of go through expectations for this team. Where, last year, and again, like, I honestly probably might have a clip of this that I could play because I've said it and we could just watch it, but I'll just say it again anyway. This is a team that last year came into the season in 2023. It's like, oh, that team could be fun.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens with that team. A lot of young talent, a lot of exciting talent. We'll see. There were no expectations. It was, oh, could this team like the headlines were, could this team win 80 games? That was it. Could they get to 500 or finish with maybe, would 90 wins be really cool? That'd be a really cool season. And they end up blowing the water out of every single expectation. That they were great. It was a team that was playing with, I mean, seemingly little pressure because they were the hunters. They weren't the hunted.
Yeah.
They were a team that snuck up on everybody. And everybody's like, whoa, that's a really good team. And they were playing free. They were having fun. And then you come to this year, and there is a shift in expectation. You win 100 games. You win the AL East. You get the number 1 seed. Obviously, the playoff run didn't go great, but you come into this year.
Expectations are higher.
Yeah, I mean, again, you're coming off a great year. You now have that target on your back. You don't necessarily add a ton in free agency, but you get Corbin Burns to anchor the front line of your rotation. I mean, the big acquisition was Craig Kimbrell in free agency, so I mean, I guess that was that. But and I don't think anybody was impressed with that anyway. But
yeah, I kind of forgot. Like later in the offseason, I kept on forgetting we signed Craig Kimbrell. Like
I might have seen a tweet or two, and this was before I knew you, obviously. But like getting into that because they signed him when. Like
they signed him earlier. Like it was decent early into the offseason.
Because I remember seeing tweets from you before I met you of Kimbrell. I'm like, oh, we have this guy.
I was like, all right, we signed him really early. Like I think they tried to solve the Felix thing early on, and it did not work.
I agree.
I was gonna say, do we want to do one up, one down? But
I mean, I'd give the one up to Adley. I'll give him credit.
I'll give it to Tony.
One down is
everything else.
Pick what you want. I don't think you'd be wrong.
Spin the wheel at this point. Just spin the wheel because it's probably going to
maybe the other one up is Hyde finally moving Adley out of the 2 spot. We've been talking about that forever. So he gets to 5 and he actually hits.
Mm-hmm. Oh, actually, I do want to talk about Cedric Mullins real fast. That catch by Cedric Mullins.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Woo. Good one.
Like that was Cedric Mullins does things out there that make you just think, like, what the hell? And especially the way he's been hitting recently. He's batting almost 300 the past 38 games. He's got over a 950 OPS over the last 38 games. Said he's been putting it together. And if his defense is playing well out there, it's just incredible. He's a top center fielder in the league, whether people want to admit it or not.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Do you want to play a fun game that's actually not fun at all?
Yeah, let's do it.
So we can all suffer in our pain right now.
I don't even.
Let's play who makes the Orioles bullpen for the playoffs, assuming they make it. I'd be pretty shocked if
they're gonna make it,
Okay, but I just want to say that they haven't made it yet. They're gonna make it, obviously. Like, I'd be floored if they didn't. But let's talk about who will be on it. So I want to pull up the roster. So I want to go by the amount of bullpen arms they have right now. So I just want to be able to reference that quickly.
Yeah,
I use 40 man. I don't want the 40 man. I want the active roster.
Usually I go to Fangraphs.
Okay, I just have it on their website. All right, so bullpen arms. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
It's got 9 because we have the expanded rosters, but
so we just go 8.
Usually there'll be 8.
Okay, so 8 guys, 8 bullpen arms.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna write mine. I'm gonna write mine down. So I'm gonna write it in chat here.
Is that what? Are we writing ours down?
I'm just doing mine so that I can keep track.
All right, I'll do mine as well then, I guess.
Are
we assuming Coulomb and Jacob Webb are healthy?
Yes, we can assume.
Okay. Well, there go 2 people that I'm going to have on my team.
Yeah, seriously. Wow.
And in the chat, let us know your.
I'm already at 6, and I barely done anything.
Yeah, it moves fast.
Oh, wow. Sheesh.
I mean, it kind of gets dicey fast.
You lose spots a lot quicker than I thought you would. I'll be consistent what I've been saying too. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, wait, I have 9.
Womp womp.
Wow. All right, I might go different than what I usually do. Yeah. All right. I'm gonna. All right. I have mine. Whenever you're ready, take it, Simon.
I think I have mine. I'm gonna say I have mine.
All right. You want to go first? Or want me to go first?
You go first.
Okay. So I have Aiken, Bowman, Cano, Coulomb, Webb, Dominguez, Soto, and Perez.
All right, so I have the exact same one, except I have Birch Smith over Bowman. I think they just for some reason I think they trust Birch Smith more.
I don't think I mean, it's just been so bad.
I mean, I was deciding between those two as well. I just feel like
Yeah.
if they haven't because Birch Smith has options too. So like if they haven't even used one of his options, I just wonder. Like I feel like they just really.
Yeah. Well, also, I guess if Grayson comes back,
Then you can move to technically Suarez out there because
Yeah.
that's the other thing. It's most likely.
So then I guess you take Bowman off for Suarez.
Yeah.
Or in your case, I guess Birch Smith off for Suarez.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it's just been. I'm gonna look up Birch's stats. It's just been. I think he's had one good appearance in the last 10.
If even, honestly.
Birch Smith. Look at us doing research. He had a couple of good out. He had 3 good outings in a row. Rockies, White Sox, White Sox. No, 4. He had one against the Dodgers. So we had 4.
You know,
lowered his ERA from 5.79 to 4.70, so full point. And then his last 2 appearances has raised it from 4.70 to 6.20 on the year.
Yeah, not ideal.
Yes. Man.
Yeah, so I think. How do you feel about that? Like, how do you feel about that bullpen right now?
That bullpen, I feel okay. Not great, not terrible. I feel okay.
I feel
if you don't have Kimbrel on it, and if you don't have Birch Smith on it, even with Soto on there, it's kind of. I think he'd probably be the big wild card.
Yeah,
I'd feel okay.
I feel good about late inning having Cano, Coulomb, Jacob Webb, Sir Anthony, and CNL available.
Yeah,
I feel comfortable with those 5. Keegan Aiken's always done really well. Well, he's done really well recently. He's had a blow up or 2, but you expect that from this bullpen at this point. And then Soto and Birch, I feel like would be the wild cards kind of in my bullpen of 8.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's literally a 50-50 confidence level for me. Like 50% they can get the job done, 50% of they're just going to blow the game. So, yeah. It's weird, though, because, I mean, I still would not be – and I would not do this, but I would not be shocked if they somehow find a way to put Kimbrel on the roster. You can't do it, but this season has been a weird season, and
you're gonna make someone mad by saying that,
huh?
So you're gonna make someone mad by saying that.
I mean, I'm saying that I wouldn't. If someone gets mad at me, it's shooting the messenger because I'm not the one saying that I would want them to do it. I'm saying that I don't want them to do it, but I feel like just with what this team has done all season, again, they've DFA'd guys for less. And that's the line I always say. They've taken guys off this roster for less.
You're not wrong. They have.
But it's obviously the sunken cost. And they just feel like they have to roll with it because they paid him a lot of money. And maybe they promised him a role. So, yeah, it's tough.
It's really tough. And I feel like we're going to figure out if this team is like kind of this front office. This is their big, I feel like first big postseason roster crunch because last year it was pretty obvious. There was no big surprises.
Yeah.
This year you're going to have to make some decisions on guys that you went and acquired. You know, do you bring on, even the Sotos of the world? What are they going to do with those guys? They have to make a decision on them. They have to make a decision on Kimbrel. Now it's less of a decision. I was going to say if Kobe Mayo was hitting better, it'd be more of a decision there. You don't have Ramon potentially for the rest of this. What's his deal? What's Mounty's deal? What's Westbrook's deal? Like this team could look so different by playoffs. It's unreal.
Yep. I mean, I think they're going to get guys back, but they just got to keep getting healthier and not keep losing guys. They've been losing guys all year. So, I mean, if you can get back some of those reinforcements, you're in better shape. but how big of a sheep?
This bullpen, they're going to live and die by it, just like they live and die by the home run ball.
Yep.
Kevin, this team, we have what, is it 18 games left?
Yeah, I think 18, yeah.
Let me do some math. God, I'm not good at math. I think it's 17 now. 17.
Wow.
Wow.
Man, I just do you want to go back? Because again, this game was just so bad. We know what the.
Actually, so wait, hold up, real fast. They're 82. I like this. Wait, one, boom, biohack. 17 games left. They would have to go 8-9 over their last 17 to win 90 games.
I put them right at 90.
So I'm gonna look through their schedule. Let me.
I think their schedule. Gets them right to 90.
Mm-hmm. So they still have to play 6 games against the Tigers. If you got to win 4 against the Tigers, 4 of those 6, you got to win. You got to win. Tigers have been playing well recently, though. Yeah, Tigers have been playing really well. Yeah, maybe not as well as I thought. But
I'm gonna go with right at 90.
I think 90s. I'm gonna say 90 exactly too.
Yeah. Which, again, the way this season's going could be enough to win the division, but the Yankees beat the Royals tonight.
Yeah.
So,
do you think the O's can win the division? Yeah. And it's not because of how the O's are playing. It's because I don't think the Yankees won either. The Orioles.
I don't. For as bad as the Orioles are playing, I don't trust the Yankees.
Yeah, the Orioles, in no way, chance in hell should they have an opportunity just because of how mediocre they've played. But the Yankees have been playing at times worse. I could see the Orioles only winning if 17 games left. It would not shock me if the Orioles win 7 of 17, but the Yankees find a way to only win 5, and then the Orioles somehow win. That would be a way that I could see it happening. I don't see this being Orioles win 14 of the next 17 and Yankees win 12 of the next 17. It's this big push. I think it's whatever team doesn't want to lose it. These teams just hand it to each other every other day. So,
but a big part of winning versus losing the division is I actually think it's very important for the Orioles to win the division. Hot take. Really important for the Orioles to win the division, but it's because these guys need rest.
Yeah.
They need rest. Playing a wild card series, exhausting some of that options, right? Getting guys going a little earlier, especially in that bullpen. You need to rest, right? Maybe by some magic they can find it in the wild card series, and that can be their spark. There are 2 sides to that story.
Yeah,
but I would take the rest, and I know that that's a very controversial topic in Baltimore, especially considering the Ravens and how those.
It's all because of injuries. It's the right thing to do because.
Yes, and that's why the rest is really important. So, yeah,
I agree.
God, I'm really gonna go the whole season without eating spicy ramen, aren't
I? Which is crazy because we made this
literally in July. Or even maybe late June.
This is unreal. Man. What has happened to the team I love? Kevin, I'm not gonna lie. This is vibes were so good a week ago coming out. I mean, obviously coming out of the Rockies and White Sox.
You'd hope so, yeah.
That was when everything was looking great. But since then, man, yikes.
Yeah. A couple of really nice defensive plays tonight, though.
Yeah, but also the Orioles just play well against the Yankees. The Orioles, I could just see randomly sweeping the Yankees because the Yankees just don't play well.
I mean, that's the division right there. If we're
the division's gonna be
that's
decided that weekend.
That's the division. I don't care what happens the rest of these games. The division will come down to that series.
Oh, without a doubt.
That's what it's going to be.
No question about it. I mean, and then obviously you do have those 3 games the Orioles play the Twins right after, but it would have to go. You'd have to go. I mean, just catastrophic, like get swept by the Twins, I feel like, for that to really change anything, or the Yankees get swept by whoever they're playing. Like, it's going to come down to that series.
I say ban the home run derby. That's where this all started.
What the Padres were thinking?
Yeah, no, it happened before that, obviously. But hey, man, I still remember that Cedric walk-off, man. Those vibes were insane.
Oh, when Verdugo fell?
Yeah.
Remember when we were just doing impromptu lives after games, like Kevin and Zach React didn't even exist?
Well, that was way, way, way early.
Well, yeah. Kevin, what if we're the problem?
No, there was.
Remember, we start out 12-2.
Yes, we were on a heater. This has not been all bad since we've started this.
No, we start out high. It's unfortunate that now it has been.
God. And people will find a way to blame me in 8 different ways. Cartwheels, fish.
Do you know when our first Kevin and Zach React was? Like,
I swear. Let me go to the YouTube and find it.
Well, no, not on the channel. Because I mean, do we want to do since the channel was officially?
No, I'm going to.
I was going to say I don't think that's a good record. I was like, that's.
Well, we could probably do both. You probably see both.
Yeah, Marcus, I completely agree. Rocco is to blame somehow.
Man, we need to find a record of like when Rocco comes in studio versus when Rocco doesn't.
Yeah, but only
maybe that's it.
But only if it looks poor on Rocco.
Yeah, I guess we can't give too much credit over there.
All Kevin's cartwheels just in effect.
Hey, you had the opportunity to reverse my juju
by doing cartwheels in Columbus.
Yeah,
I know I had to do cartwheels in Columbus. I thought I just had to go to Columbus.
Well, you had to give up some like offering.
I had to give up an offering in Columbus.
Yeah.
Kevin, I think we road trip back there and just give up an offering.
We go to the exact hotel and like put up a shrine.
Yeah. We leave Birch Fish there in his own like tank.
No, come on.
We leave him the tank with food and so like we're not killing him. We're just leaving him as like to even it all out. Like you did poor cartwheels, so we got them Birch Fish.
Oh, man. All right, let's see. Colton Cowser, Bradish, Austin Hay. Okay, so I'm getting close. Did we start? No, okay, so it was before this.
Our first ever one was that White Sox series. Because the Orioles got swept.
Did they? No, so, okay. Yep, Orioles get swept by Cardinals. Yep, reaction. Orioles survived. This was May 23rd.
May 23rd was
May 23rd was our first. That White Sox series.
I'm so nervous, Kevin. All right, it's 53-45. You know,
that's above 500 ball.
Kevin, we had won. Yeah, we started out 10-2.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Kevin, we won 16 of our first 20 React episodes.
See, we did good.
16 of our first, damn.
And then this channel, the actual new channel, started July 27th.
That's where it's gonna get. July 27th.
Yeah, July 27th. That bad?
No, I mean it's consistent. The Orioles are 21-21.
Oh, 500 ball.
500.
Jeez.
500. They've been mediocre. That's on us. That's on us. They're just painfully mediocre.
Well, I mean, they're below 500 since the All-Star break now, right? So aren't they one game under now?
Yeah, I think so. It hasn't been the most fun, Kevin. I'll just say it. It honestly hasn't been.
No, I mean, it has been expectations.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, they're playing 500 ball.
Yeah. Gonna have to be. There are gonna be some interesting conversations this offseason, regardless
Yeah,
how the season, regardless of how it ends.
Let's talk about the big one because I know people in the comments are talking about. Has your opinion on Brandon Hyde changed?
Meaning what?
What do you think happens to Brandon Hyde this offseason? Do you think there's a possibility of him getting fired? Is there he has to get X to avoid that? What do you say?
No, there is certainly a possibility. I mean, my stance hasn't really changed. Like, if they lose disappointingly in the wild card round, or I mean, even ALDS, there are many ways this could go. If they lose in the wild card round, I would expect him to be fired. Anything else, it's probably 50-50 up to that point, because I wouldn't even call it an excuse. The reason they would make is there was growth from playoffs to playoffs, which is what unlocked the Ravens. I talk about with John Harbaugh all the time, because there are people that are like, get Harbaugh out of here. And I said they were never going to fire him after the AFC Championship game because they grew in the playoffs. Now, the other thing, and Adit says it right here, this is what I might see happening.
That's what I think ends up happening.
I think that if the Orioles go about and they lose in the playoffs and it's this disappointing thing, again, this is not what I would do, but I could see them saying he's coming back because there were too many injuries.
I think that's what ends up happening. Unless they lose in the wild card round. If they get swept in the wild card.
Yeah. And I don't know, James, if any, we've talked about the motivation factor before in terms of sticking up for players and, getting fired up at the umpires. I would like to see more of that.
Yeah.
I would like, look, you showed frustration tonight.
Yeah, we finally saw it.
Yeah. But again, that's the issue, right? Finally. We've been waiting on it for a while. So, yeah, man, personally, do I think that Brandon Hyde is the right person for the job? He took in a rebuilding team and got it to where they are now. Mm-hmm. But there are plenty of question marks. In no way is he a perfect manager. No. But I think that a lot of the Orioles' decision is going to be based off of how far they go in the playoffs. And even if they don't go far, I could see them bringing them back just based off of we were injured, which I do not like as a reason. But plenty of teams have done it. Plenty of teams have done it. This would not be the first time.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, it comes down to, like you said, if they miss, they're making the playoffs. If they get swept in the wild card round, if that's just an embarrassment again, like they just show nothing, I think he is gone. But if he makes it back to the divisional round, they lose in game 5 of the divisional round, I think they're going to give him the benefit of the doubt because of injuries. And you can agree with that or not, but I think that's how the front office is going to view it, is that he didn't get a fair shot. And when everyone was healthy, they were a pretty dominant team. Like they were whooping ass. So I think that's going to also give him sort of the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, and this is not us, again, making excuses for Brandon Hyde, right? We both know that there are issues in the way that he does things. There are issues in the way every manager does things. And there are pretty glaring issues that we have talked about on this show, right? We have not shied away from talking about this issue. This is not Zach and I making excuses. This is Zach and I realistically looking at what other teams have done in the past and saying that we're not even saying it's going to happen. We're saying there's a possibility it happens. Because there's a real possibility that they lose in a wild card round and they say we need somebody else. That could very easily happen too. But here on this show, we try to give you all the possibilities. And those are 2. So yeah, that's kind of what I had to say about that.
Kevin, it was so much more fun when the Orioles were winning all the time.
I know I got to eat weird foods and throw props and you
Pocket watch, I'm wondering the same thing.
Yeah. It's hard to find words for it.
It is. It's just frustrating. It's draining. The word I like to use for the 2024 Baltimore Orioles is draining.
It's a good word. I do feel drained.
Because it feels like every night, just like tonight, up 1-0. You're like, boom, bada ching, bada boom. Here come the O's, baby. Up 12-3.
It did escalate very quickly.
So quick. It was 3-1. And then it was 4-2. And then it was 12-3. Shout out Tony. Shout out Gunner. Shout out Adley. Shout out Seti for that dive. That was cool as hell. Brutal, Kevin. Brutal. I think that's the best way to put it.
Yep. Yeah, not really a ton to say about the game because it was just so bad. I mean, we can obviously.
I was just about to say anything else. I feel like it was just one of those games.
Hey, they got a lot of strikeouts.
Hey, Tyrod Taylor's in the game for the Jets.
Oh, all right. Ravens legend.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, that game happened. So anything else to say, Kevin?
No, man. I think just you got to move on. That's all you can do.
Yeah.
Take the lessons from it. Go win tomorrow. You can't keep losing.
Yep.
You can't keep losing.
No doubt about it, Kevin. I am ready to be hurt again in 24 hours.
Aren't we all?
I'm ready to be hurt again, baby. I am ready to be hurt again. That's going to do it for today's episode of Kevin and Zach Reacts. Go live after every single Orioles and Ravens game, win or lose. Orioles stinker today, 12-3, absolutely brutal. Tomorrow, Albert Suarez, Big Al, back on the mound against Cutter Crawford for the Boston Red Sox. 7:10 first pitch. Probably be live here around 10 o'clock, depending on how the game goes, how quickly it goes. But yeah, that's going to do it for us. Hey, just win tomorrow. Just win tomorrow. We'll see you guys then. And as always,